Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive into what's been happening with Google Cloud Platform.
Yeah, hello.
We've been digging through the latest Google Cloud Platform technology nuggets to bring you the highlights.
The interesting bits, basically.
Exactly. Think of this as, well, your fast track to understanding the key developments in GCP. We're trying to focus on things relevant whether you're kind of new to Google Cloud or, have been using it for a while. Our mission today is really just to pull out the significant updates, the stuff that matters, without getting totally bogged down.
Because keeping up is, it's a challenge, right? Cloud tech moves so fast.
It really does.
So we've looked at these announcements to figure out, okay, what actually offers value? Where's Google Cloud going with this? How can it help you?
Okay, let's get into it then. Starting with AI and machine learning. Always a hot topic.
Always.
The GenAI Toolbox for databases.
Right.
It's now the MCP Toolbox. Sounds like a bit more than just a name change. What's the story there?
Yeah, it's definitely an evolution. The core idea is deeper integration. It now works much more closely with things like the Agent Development Kit or ADK.
Okay, the ADK.
Yeah.
That's for building AI agents, right?
Precisely. It's the set of tools and building blocks for creating those agents. And it also integrates better with LangGraph.
LangGraph for managing the agents.
Kind of, yeah. It helps structure and manage how these AI agents work together, especially complex ones. So this whole integration move, it suggests Google is pushing towards more modular, composable AI development.
Right, so building AI apps becomes more like assembling specialized components.
That's the idea. Think specialized agents you can orchestrate. It probably means Google sees an agent-focused future for a lot of AI applications built on GCP.
Okay, so practically speaking, how does this help someone, say, building an app that uses a database like LODB or Cloud SQL?
Well, imagine you're building maybe a customer service chatbot. With this improved toolbox and the ADK LangGraph integration, your agent can do more than just answer questions. It can, remember past conversations, store key info right back into AlloDB or Cloud SQL persistently.
Ah, so stateful agents become easier to build.
Exactly. More resilient, more context-aware applications. It streamlines building intelligent apps that really leverage Google's database strengths. You're embedding the smarts right there with the data.
Got it. Now, still on AI, there's this new DORA report, Impact of Generative AI on Software Development. Sounds relevant.
Very relevant. DORA reports are always worth reading. This one looks at Gen AI from two angles, how it helps individual developers and the impact on the whole team or organization.
And I assume it found benefits for individuals, faster coding, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Increased productivity, efficiency boosts at the developer level. That's pretty clear.
But I heard there was something surprising, a potential downside.
Well, yes. That's the really interesting part. The report found that despite these individual and org-level benefits, some organizations are actually seeing a slowdown in their overall software delivery speed.
A slowdown, even with AI helping. How does that work?
It's counterintuitive, right? It suggests that just throwing Gen AI tools at the problem isn't a magic bullet. Maybe organizations are struggling with, integrating the tools properly into workflows or training people effectively. Or maybe they aren't measuring the real impact across the whole life cycle.
So it's a warning, almost. Adopt AI thoughtfully, not just blindly.
Exactly. It needs a strategic approach, not just buying the tool.
Makes sense. Okay, let's switch gears to app development. Code Assist, that's becoming Code Assist tools. Again, it sounds like more than just a rename.
It really is a significant expansion. It's moving way beyond just suggesting the next line of code.
Okay.
It's becoming more integrated into the whole dev lifecycle right inside the IDE. The tools part means you can now connect to external services without leaving your coding environment.
External services. Like what? Can you give an example?
The big one they highlighted is Google Docs.
Google Docs in the IDE.
Yeah. So imagine your product requirements are in a Google Doc.
Okay, pretty common scenario.
With Code Assist tools, you can reference that doc from your IDE. The tool can then pull out key info, summarize it maybe, and use that to help generate the initial project structure or even prototype parts of the app.
Whoa. So less context switching, less flipping between the browser and the code.
Exactly. Keeping developers focused in their main environment, it smooths out that workflow.
As someone who lives with 50 browser tabs open, that sounds genuinely useful. Okay, let's talk about customers using GCP. Lowe's has something called Visual Scout.
Yes, this is a neat example of improving customer experience. You know how sometimes you know what you want, but not the name.
All the time.
Yeah.
Especially with hardware store stuff.
Right. So Visual Scout on Lowe's.com lets you visually browse their catalog. You see something close to what you need, click it, and it shows you similar items.
Ah, so it's visual search and discovery. That makes sense.
It's just a more intuitive way to shop when you can't quite name the thing you're looking for.
Cool. Any other interesting customer use cases?
Well, there's CodeRabbit. It's an AI tool for code reviews.
AI code reviews. Just interested. What's the Google Cloud angle?
They're using Google Cloud Run and making some pretty big claims, like cutting code review time and bugs basically in half.
Cutting bugs in half. That's ambitious. How does Cloud Run help?
Cloud Run gives them a secure sandbox to run untrusted code, the code being reviewed.
Ah, isolation. Makes sense for security.
Right. And it scales easily. The tool doesn't just find potential bugs, it also analyzes the impact of suggested changes, gives reviewers more context.
Okay, so AI isn't just for end-user apps. It's also changing the development process itself, like with CodeRabbit and Code Assist. And speaking of internal changes, security operations, Google Cloud is talking about a more agentic approach for SOCs.
Yeah, this is a conceptual shift. Traditionally, security tech has been assistive. It gives data, alerts, insights to human analysts who then make the decisions and take action.
Okay, standard SOC model.
The agentic idea is moving towards automated security agents. Think intelligence systems running on GCP that can make certain independent decisions and take proactive actions based on defined rules and AI.
So less purely assisting humans, more actively participating.
Exactly. Moving from just detection to more automated response and maybe even prevention, within set boundaries, of course.
Any examples of these agents?
Google's working on specific ones, like an alert triage agent to automatically sort through the flood of alerts, letting humans focus on the critical stuff, or a malware analysis agent to automatically dissect suspicious files.
Sounds potentially powerful.
And related to this, they've open-sourced the MCP servers for Google Unified Security. That lets you build your own custom security workflows, mixing Google's tools with maybe other third-party tools you use. More automation, more integration.
Interesting. A move towards more autonomous security.
Okay, let's pivot to data analytics. BigQuery data frames, the Python library. There's a version 2.0.
Yes, and the big news in 2.0 is a unified data frame for handling multimodal data.
Multimodal, meaning different types of data together.
Exactly. Structured data from tables, yes, but also unstructured stuff like text, images, maybe video, all within the same data frame construct.
And why is that important?
Well, think about generative AI applications. They often need to understand and process all these different data types together. This unified data frame running on BigQuery's power makes building those kinds of sophisticated apps much easier for Python users.
Right, connecting the dots between the different data formats is key for AI. What else is new in the BigQuery world? I saw something about a data engineering agent.
Yes, that's one to watch. It's upcoming. The goal is pretty ambitious: to automate a lot of the heavy lifting in data pipeline engineering within BigQuery.
Automate how?
Imagine describing the pipeline you need in natural language.
Like take data from here, clean it like this, put it there. Sort of, yeah. And the agent would build or modify the pipeline for you. It's also intended to proactively spot issues like data drift.
Data drift, where the data changes its characteristics over time.
Right, which can break pipelines or skew analysis. The agent could potentially identify drift and even suggest or apply fixes. Plus, they're talking about bulk drafting of pipelines for scalability.
That sounds incredibly useful if it works well. Is it available?
Not generally available yet, no, but typically there are sign-up lists for early access or previews for things like this if you're really keen.
Worth keeping an eye on then. And the user interface is getting an AI boost too. BigQuery Data Canvas.
That's right. Data Canvas is already about making BigQuery more visual and intuitive, finding, transforming, querying, visualizing data with a graphical interface and natural language prompts.
Making it more accessible.
Exactly. And the next step, announced at Next 25, is a built-in AI chat assistant powered by Gemini, right there in the canvas to help you out as you work.
So AI assistants baked right in. And I guess that Gemini integration extends beyond BigQuery into Looker as well.
Absolutely. Google's definitely pushing Gemini into Looker, their BI platform. The idea is to make data exploration, asking questions of your data, getting insights, all much more intuitive. There are specific features on the roadmap.
A clear trend then. AI layered across the whole data stack. And this seems to be getting noticed. Forrester Wave report.
Yes. Google Cloud was named a leader in the Forrester Wave for data management for analytics platforms. And notably, they got the highest possible score, 5 out of 5, on 13 different criteria.
13. Wow, that's strong validation.
It definitely highlights the breadth and depth of their offerings in the data space.
Okay, let's shift to databases. Migrations are always tough. Sounds like Google's working to make moving from MySQL to Cloud Spanner easier.
Yes, that's a continued focus. Improving Spanner's migration tools is one part. The other is enhancing Spanner itself to be more, well, MySQL-like where it makes sense.
How so?
A key feature is built-in reverse replication.
Reverse replication. So data flows back to MySQL.
Exactly. While you're migrating, or even after, you can sync data from Spanner back to your original MySQL instances, even sharded ones. It acts as a safety net, allowing near real-time failback if needed during the transition or for DR.
That sounds like a massive confidence booster for a migration project. Less risk.
Definitely reduces the risk profile. And alongside that, they're adding more relational features to Spanner that map directly to MySQL concepts.
Like what?
Things like adding dozens of specific MySQL functions directly into Spanner and supporting common patterns like auto-increment keys. The goal is less code modification needed when you move your application over.
Making Spanner feel more familiar to MySQL devs.
Got it. And for people building AI apps with LangChain.
More language support. Previously, the integration with Google Cloud databases like Spanner, LADB, Cloud SQL was mainly Python. Now they've added official support for Go, JavaScript, and Java too.
Opening it up to more developers. Right. More flexibility in how you build those LangChain applications on top of Google databases. They've put out code snippets and resources too.
And Spanner itself got some recognition from Gartner recently.
It did. In the Gartner Critical Capabilities Report for Cloud DBMS operational use cases, Spanner ranked #1 in the lightweight transactions use case.
#1 there.
And #3 for both OLTP transactions and application state management use cases. So strong showings across several key operational database workloads.
Okay, good validation for Spanner's capabilities. Let's wrap up with networking. Sounds like Google's re-architecting its global network, partly because of AI demands.
That's a big driver, yes. The sheer scale of data and the latency sensitivity of many AI workloads require rethinking the network. They outline 4 main principles.
Which are?
Exponential scalability, obviously, then beyond nines reliability.
Beyond 5 nines. That's a lot of nines.
It is, pushing reliability further. Third is intent-driven programmability for agility, and fourth is autonomous networking, letting the network manage itself more.
Let's focus on that beyond nines reliability. How do they actually achieve that? Is there a specific technique?
One key technique they mention is called protective reroute.
Protective reroute.
The traditional way is that network routers handle path problems. Protective reroute shifts some of that intelligence and responsibility out to the hosts, the actual machines sending the data.
So the servers themselves make routing decisions. How does that help reliability?
Because the host often has the best and earliest view of connection quality or potential issues on a path. If a host detects degradation or an anomaly,
It doesn't wait for the central network to figure it out.
exactly, it can proactively and very quickly reroute its own traffic onto a known good alternative path. Maybe a different path in the same region, maybe even across to a different part of the global network.
Like having multiple GPS apps on your phone and switching routes instantly if one sees traffic.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes the whole system much more resilient to localized network hiccups or congestion. Faster reaction time.
Fascinating. The infrastructure itself adapting to AI. Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground there. From AI agents to developer tools, customer stories, security shifts, data analytics advancements, database migrations, and even core networking changes.
We have. It really shows how dynamic Google Cloud is right now. Lots of evolution across the board, aimed at making things more powerful, more automated, and hopefully easier to use.
And our goal today was really just to give you that concise overview, pull out those key highlights to save you time trying to track it all yourself.
Hopefully it gives you a good starting point.
Definitely. And we absolutely encourage you, if any of these topics really caught your attention, go check out the specific Google Cloud blog posts or documentation for the full details.
There's always more depth if you need it.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with. We're seeing AI and automation being woven deeper and deeper into everything: development, data, security, networking.
It's becoming foundational.
So how do you think this increasing intelligence and autonomy right across the cloud stack is going to fundamentally change how we design, build, and even operate our applications in the years to come? Something to ponder.